Hello, I'm Ami, the intuitive at Let Me See What We See. Thanks for listening. Today's podcast, Let Me See What We See, I would like to talk about healing body. Communicate thoughts to others clearly and open for others' feedback also. Body-mind relation awareness. It's the season concept that I've been sharing the information provided by Dr. Mona Lisa. And this week's key focus is healing body. Do you feel often your neck and shoulders and jaws easily get too tight? Especially under the stressful situations such as deadlines or under pressure at workplace. If this is you, and you may want to learn about the energetic relationship with that body and the thought pattern and emotion. Let us become aware of some ideas to be more aligned with a healthier mindset, learning from what Dr. Mona Lisa, medical doctor, PhD in neuroscience, needs to share about a healthy relationship to ourselves. Starting with conscious breathing exercise, this is the quickest meditation, mindfulness practice, experiencing to being current, and getting neutralized self, aligning in 0 point, a sense of well-beingness. So this is the time for you, and I am thanking for taking the time to connect here, allowing me in your experience. So grateful for being able to hold that space each week to connect the moments here. Sharing with being in current exercise, guided experience, this is helping to getting updated your beingness. Allow your attention being guided into mindfulness state with conscious breathing, practically, efficiently. And I've been giving my focus about the energy and its relationship with physical energy and non-physical energy, as body as a physical energy, mind is non-physical energy, to aware what's happening within us, so that once we become aware of it, we can use the personal power to choose to redirect our attention for a better resonance to your chosen goals. So here is the reminding personal power to align with your chosen goals. And to learn more about you and efficiently managing your energy, your mind, your feeling, and your body, spirit of course. So first off, starting with that conscious breathing exercise, this is the quickest practical mindfulness exercise. letting us connect to that neutral sense of self. I would like to have the something. Excuse me, my mother just interrupted. So, this is the sign to get relaxed and to giving a focus to ourselves, not someone else's, even it's for the emergency. This is very important time because I'm a believer that you are the most important person in your life, and I am, not your mother. Not my mother. My mother can't wait, right? So here is your time. This is my time. And what I would suggest to you is to have something nice to sip. Because what we would like to do is the mindfulness exercise. And most of the meditations is encouraging us closing our eyes and calm mind. That's one way to do. And what I like to share here is the practical way to connect to that mindfulness state. My native culture influence is Japanese, and these Zen modality is in the educational curriculum since we are in the elementary school. And these kids are, without knowing that is the Zen meditative state, but doing some tasks, and that is part of the meditative calming down, connecting to self with the breath. So the first time I was noticing in the States that people are practicing Zen and sitting and calm and quiet, and that is nice too. However, there's a many way to connect to that state. Of course, we go to temple and to sit there and practice Zen as a monk. That's one way to do, but it's not the only way to connect to that mindfulness state. That's what I'd like to share, the practical way, especially for busy person like yourself perhaps. And we need that practical tool to really getting back to our power, personal power, a sense of well-beingness, calm and open and so centered and peaceful mind, clear mind immediately yesterday. So this is one of the tool. So I would like you to be as what you are doing naturally. So just sipping something. I'm having nice green tea. And it's ideal to utilize that sense of appreciation to yourself. So pick something favorite, the drinks that you love in a healthy alignment, and treat yourself as a very important person, and I mean VIP treat if you can. And this sipping something is also helpful to recognize where is our physical body located. And non-physical part of us, our mind, emotion, is going to be aligned here now in this physical presence at this moment now with the breath. So there is a reason for I suggest you to sip something. It's helpful for our sensor to sense where you're physically located, consciously, subconsciously. And another one is to keep your eyes open, wide awake, which is also unique. Most of the meditation closing our eyes. That's one way to do. And this one is open eyes, and notice what your eyes are noticing when consciously connecting to the breath, engaging the air into your body, and let that out slowly. Allow my voice guide your attention. Energy flows where attention is given. Consciously using our attention, consciousness is only a 5% of our human system. Rest of other part is subconscious and conscious. So let us use this precious 5% fully to connect to yourself, not someone else or somebody else, something else, but your breath. And in taking all the air from your nose and bring that into the lungs, bring that down to the stomach, and keep it as much as you can, and let that out slowly, along with no longer serving energy. We do this 3 times with eyes open. If you can get that drinks, that's nice to sip. So, ready? Let's do that. Let us take a long, deep breath, counting 3. 1 from the nose. One more time. Bring in all the air around you from your nose and bring it into the lungs and bring that down to the stomach as if balloon is inside of your trunk. Hold that new energy air in your body and circulate it as long as you can, as much as you can hold it inside, and let that out slowly from your mouth, along with no longer serving whatever event, people, sensations that belong to your past. And here now, releasing it for the next you. Okay? Eyes open, wide awake, counting 3. 1 from the nose, go. Last one with the silence. I'd like you to notice your mind is going somewhere and then just engage with the breath and then the body sensation. How your body is responding to the air, which part of your body is getting attention or not getting attention. In case of me, my mother is getting my attention in my mind. Gee. Okay, so just to notice that awareness, your observer self is observing your physical part and non-physical part, your mind. Maybe you're still engaging with something what happened yesterday or today, or maybe you're thinking about exciting tomorrow or some important things in tomorrow, next week. You just observe, and when you go somewhere, and bring your attention back to the breath, air, in from the nose and in your stomach, in your body, and circulate it. And then let that go with the sound of your voice saying out, and completely let that out. Okay? Let's do that. Ready? Let us take a long, deep breath from the nose, counting 3. Go. Thank you for taking the time for yourself. Conscious breathing exercise, the quickest mindfulness state here now. I'm Ami, the intuitive energy management advisor. How do you feel? How do you notice yourself before and after? Actually, my mother seems to be emergency, like energetically I'm sensing and overwhelmed. One of these things, we really need to cut that code, especially with the closest people, just like your mother or your loved one, your children's. We are so connected, known physically, regardless of your location and time zone. It's just telepathically, as in the frequency we use, just like a radio station. When you turn the channels and then that frequency, it transmitting the information. And that energetic resonance, when we are close to someone, and then it's pretty familiar with that frequency, so you will notice how you're going to connect in an easier way. And this is very provable fact that synchronizing something, and when you send out the message, and then you will hear back. So in otherwise, that we can use it wisely, consciously, not being open to unconsciously being used by the non-physical energetic communication realm, but to consciously use that and just to negotiate with this type of energy. Because my mother has a very strong channel energetically. She's a very intense personality, and even in the physical or no physical, so it's very identifiable when she sent that message. So I need this actually help me become aware of my own energetic field and blocking these messages that is not helping me, my well-beingness. That doesn't mean that shutting out that, but to connect in a way that also from your connection, unless otherwise that you are too open to everything, connecting to everyone. So it's being confidently say no, not now, but to take a time to connect, which is actually interestingly connected to today's key energy focus, that healthy body, which is the communication that Dr. Munirisa's body mind makeover card information shared through guidebook provided by Dr. Munirisa from Hay House Publishing. So the communication is Actually, everything as a human being uses many different ways to communicate, and the word is one of them. And there's many other way to communicate art and in a visual or sound or censored or using our human senses, five sensors. And when the human developed the idea of the paper and writing and the word, we communicate with the word, and the language we use is unique to each regions and countries, passed on to by ancestor and ancestor, and which also cave our mindset. So some languages is particular focus is unique to that language user, and then some language is quite different. I mean, it's unique characteristics to that languages. So that word create our thought, because the thought is composed by the word, the thinking. How we think is to speaking that word. So I do speak several different languages, and when I noticed that each language has a different mindset, so even if I speak different language, my thinking is composed in that different language, and then I speak as a non-native. So it's quite a unique relationship, and the communication is everything for our beingness, living life. And I chose that word and communication as my professional arena, and it's so interesting that because of my background as in a family is non-verbal communication. Basically, it's like a music and art kind of background as in a family, and then I chose that word as a way to get to know others, communicate, on top of where I came from. So this communication thought to others and clearly expressing your mind is such an important thing. When we are unable to articulate what really thinking, and the other person never get the idea of what you are thinking, that's really frustrating. Especially like when you go visit some countries and you have no idea their language, what they're speaking, then you so get frustrated. We can communicate outside of that word language, of course, but all the details and the nuance of these, it's, it's get frustrated. So the importance of how you can clearly communicate with the word of what you are thinking, and then also what you are feeling. This is two different things which I like to share about my journey of this communication. Today's focus is the healthy thought is I am able to communicate my thoughts to others at the appropriate time with the correct amount of emotional intensity. I am able to communicate my thoughts to others at the appropriate time with the correct amount of emotional intensity. Unhealthy thought is my neck and jaw are very susceptible to stress. thyroid problems run in my family. That's the unhealthy thought. So I asked that questions that, are you the one that having the neck and shoulder tightness, stressed out situation under the stressful situation, under the pressures, or your thyroid hormone is imbalanced, or you have a jaw issue and teeth issues? That's the physical center, location of this energetic, emotional center related to this communication. Shoulders, neck, thyroid, and jaws and teeth. So here is the focus of today's energy keyword: body mind relation awareness. That's the body, physical body area, and mind is the communication. The healthy mind is to communicate the thought clearly in appropriate timing with the good amount of emotion. So there's the two things. That's what Dr. Mona Lisa wants to share is, hold on. Oh, where's my reading glass? Okay. Okay, so here we go. The health of the neck, thyroid gland, mouth, teeth, and shoulder is influenced by fifth emotional center: communication, will, and timing. Communication, will, and timing. If we have unhealthy thoughts and feelings about communication and timelines, then we are more likely to have the following health concerns: Graves' disease, Hashimoto disease, hyper or hypothyroidism, chronic neck pain, and cervical disc disease, or other type of chronic jaw pain. When it comes to expressing ourselves to others, it's important to have a healthy sense of timing. And a flexible way of asserting ourselves. It is important to clearly speak our mind, but also be available to others' feedback. At times, it's necessary to push our options, but in other instances, it may be necessary to hold back our agendas and wait for the better moment to express ourselves. This actually requires maturity. Through my experience, when you're immature and become too charged by emotion, and you hard time hold on to what you need to express is because emotion hijacking your entire beingness, and that word is just coming out as diarrhea from mouth. So that's really want to avoid, especially for women, emotion, and then just, oh my, unable to take this word back anymore. So that's something that really influence our quality life and especially business deals. So the hiding the emotion is the business professional manner, of course, and build the skill to expressing the emotion, not killing the emotion. If you're killing the emotion and just talking about the mind clearly, that's another issue, which I like to share some examples. So learning about skillfully expressing your emotion in appropriate intensity, it's one thing. It's very important. And then also to the clearly articulating your mind in the timing, good timing. To perform a mind and body makeover in a neck, thyroid, shoulders, mouth, and jaw, we need to read and study the fifth emotional center deck. By the wire in our feelings and thought about how we communicate and assert ourselves to others, we will improve the health of our fifth emotional center. So fifth emotional center, that I chose the communication as my profession. So articulating the mind, and as so many others are trained in the corporate environment, just showing emotion is a weak, and it's no one wants to sign a contract when you are so emotional, right? So trained to be killing the emotions, which was unhealthy, which I discovered during my corporate era of over a decade. Then there is a way to expressing the emotion, because emotion is very important, especially for doing business. I learned that media interview that I got from the crew about the passion about the business, and then this interviewer was interviewing so many business people, successful people, and then they said that one of the emotional leaders of the companies are from financial industry and the food industry, money and the food. People leading the companies and organization in that area, industry is it seems to be a very emotional compared to others. But anyway, so that communicating your passion, emotion is important in appropriate way, because we're human being and emotion is important element of being human. If it's not needed, and then we must know function to feel emotion. So the idea is to how you can become more aware of it and then use the emotion in a skillful way to reach the goal you would like to accomplish. So in this case is the healthy communication. And so when I was at the corporate, repressing the emotion and just articulating the mind, I was really good at articulating mind, and which I wanted to become the very best. So I found a role model, and then I trained the way to articulate, so which was excellent. However, on the other hand, I needed to wear the very thick mask as a very professional articulator to articulate the strategies and everything, all the business tasks as very professional. But where is my heart? Like the caring, nurturing heart, me as a Cancerian, nurturing. And these are all repressed. So which was not, my part of me was so repressed, and then that created the unhealthy energy and stored it in my body later. And then on the other hand, every time when I communicate, articulating the mind, somehow there is an unhealthy thought because I was repressing my emotion. So the energy was neck, thyroid, and shoulder was always influenced by that energy combination that I was carrying with that thought. And one time I was having a very challenging period to expressing the professional articulation in the internal corporations in the timing wise. Just like watching the jump ropes and 10 people are jumping, jumping, and you just kind of lost the way to jump into the rope. And then I was like outside of that rope, and then people say, hurry, hurry. And then I kind of lost the balance. And then, it's just too much thinking and too unable to articulate the part of emotion. That time I really was in the need to also expressing the emotions. And I had a trouble. And then I went to see the doctor, and then the first time mentioned about the thyroid issue was like, gee, I needed to go through the thyroid, and unfamiliar until that time. So that was the communication issue. Isn't it funny? Because I was coming from the professional as a communication strategist, and then I chose to it. Articulation is my work, and I was really good at that on behalf of my clients and for others. But what about myself? I was so challenged to speak out my mind and my emotion. So the neck and shoulder, always, I'm still doing it. But this is actually me. So healthy body. The emotional center is the fifth energy center. The color represented is the blue. I am able to communicate my thoughts to others at the appropriate time with the correct amount of emotional intensity. The emotional intensity. So because I was so repressed the emotion, not to speak out emotion, and the mind articulating very logically, making sense, but no heart. I mean, showing as a cold-hearted person with the I am mask as a professional, bitchiness. Then the heart, when I needed to speak out the heart, especially like personal life matters, I almost, as a child, like didn't have a way or skills to deliver the word to communicating my heart, because I was communicating the mind and not the heart. So the later I had an opportunity to be part of the group therapy kind of workshop. It's not the group therapy, but ended up like reconnecting sense of self, the damaged self. And I didn't even aware myself got so damaged. My awareness was so shallow. And but it was good. I mean, it was like, wow, what is this? The reconnecting to sense of self. And I taught the way how you express your emotion, and then realized that not too many places are teaching how you can skillfully expressing your emotion with the word. And it is okay to show your emotion, but different from become emotional. No one wants to have the emotional person in a business or anywhere, but emotion is a healthy part of our human beingness, and what we need is to learn the way to express the emotion in the way that loving communicator. So I decided to teach how you also can communicate your feeling emotion with the word. And you know what? Once I mastering that, and my life quality is improved, enhanced a lot, because no need to lose the important people in your life, especially when you want to express an emotion, is the very close people like friends or family members, and still challenge when it comes to really close, like an intimate relationship partner or like a really close family member, and then your emotion is just like driving you a beingness. So these are the practice to back off and recomposing, getting to know that emotion brings information, and then what really want to get redirecting attention to the goals chosen by you, and to use the emotion and articulate it and deliver that to person in a timely way. So when you are charged by emotion, that's not a good time to say. It's like a punching into the other person's nose, or just back off and recomposing, and then get that information from the emotion and head out of there and deliver with the clear mind, combined with all the information, including your emotion, bring that for you, and use these to reach the goal that you would like to align. So today's key energy focus, a healthy body. I am able to communicate my thoughts to others at the appropriate time with the correct amount of emotional intensity. Unhealthy thought is my neck and jaw are very susceptible to stress. Thyroid problems run in my family. Thank you, Dr. Mona Lisa. You can learn more about you by exercising your conscious awareness and stretching your awareness to see, feel, notice physical and non-physical part of you consciously. And we do it together. If you're interested in to join our online class that I organize, sign up for an invitation list going to www.livewithclarity.com, livewithclarity.com. There's my videos talking about the good focus and reminding the personal power. And sign up for an invitation list. That would help me invite you when I start next online class for free. Thanks for joining. I am Ami, the Intuitive Energy Management Advisor at Let Me See What We See. I see you next time. Until then, you have a wonderful creation and live with clarity. Thanks for listening. Bye.